boy. Shuba-duba-dai. This blessed country, oh land of beauty, I pray for thee. Some people have that wrong philosophy that politicians can save a country. They never try and do it spiritually. And now this system exploding on we. The country in a recession, a big change from the old time religion. Mankind rewriting history in a modern but a bad version. We living in our final days. Take a look and change your ways. Our beautiful country, going back to slavery days, only a prayer for the land can stop drug violence and crime. A prayer for the land, yes, these are the signs of the end of time. A prayer for the land, the price of living, man is so high. A prayer for the land, that even the rich like the poor cry. You say you're concerned and care, we country living in fear, but all are we born right here. So let's say a prayer, the Almighty Father will hear. And I see
the Lord to the
boy, Shuba-duba-dai. Oh God Almighty, show some mercy on this our country. My world standard gone way down the drain. Little children using rum, crack and cocaine. It seems like wickeditions gone insane, and everyone playing the dirty game. Too much guns and drugs in the country, owned by Tom, Dick and Harry. But if you're wrong, you must pay for it, for the law, no one above it. Put an end to victimization, oppression and segregation. It's not a good thing for this country, so let's try and wipe it out totally with a prayer for the land, of fire and brimstone go burn with it. A prayer for the land, some say they're picking out who should get bail. A prayer for the land, and that's why the prisoners burn down the jail. A prayer for the land, one day it must prevail. Please don't let deity, no peace, the Almighty will answer it. Shuba-duba-dai. Oh God Almighty, show some mercy on this our country. They now call we terror Paradise Island. No longer a country where peace abound. Yes, I used to boast about my land of beauty, the freest nation with democracy. But now we are the capital for drug pushers and money launderers. Shame and scandal is on we, take it state and it's universally. Some blame it on the politicians for the unstabilized conditions. We going from bad to worse, our blessed country now cursed. But a prayer for the land will help us to live with other people. A prayer for the land, for that's why the nation in big trouble. A prayer for the land, united we stand, divided we fall. A prayer for the land, citizens answer your duty call. Righteousness exalts a nation. The most I hate poor man depression. So I'm calling on everyone to take a stand. Take it, listen to my song.
Share the Lord, share the Lord.
What? This blessed country, oh land of beauty, I pray for thee.
Sound of the man King Craig, the mighty Craig. I pray for the land of prayer for the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. My good people, I'm DJ Mauricio, and I'm coming to you live and direct from my bunker here in the Republic of St. Paul, St. Kitts. You heard it right. I'm right here in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis still, taking in some of the sun and the warmth and the kindness of the people here in our beloved Federation. As we get started this evening, there's a lot to speak about, a lot to conversate, follow-ups, and some activities here in our beloved Federation. But if you're just surfing the web or just cruising and you run into us, and you may want to know who is conducting this program, let me try and give you a quick update here and what this program is all about. And once we do that, we'll fall right in gear and get rolling this evening. A lot of information, a lot to talk about. So take a quick listen.
Wednesday evenings are heating up. Log on to DJ Mauricio's Facebook Live broadcast every Wednesday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. It's a frank and a candid exploration into the social, cultural, political, and economic issues affecting our federation. And just in case you missed it, you can also catch the broadcast on his YouTube channel, DJ Mauricio. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube and smash that bell. You will be notified whenever he goes live. DJ Mauricio, every Wednesday evening, Facebook 6 to 8 p.m. or thereafter on his YouTube channel, DJ Mauricio. Log on.
Yes, you heard it right. DJ Mauricio is here every Wednesday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. on the normal days. But due to the CPL games that are taking place at the moment, that I think we'll be wrapping up this weekend, we made the adjustment to come to you live and lively from 5 to 7 to accommodate those fans of the CPL. So in the meantime and between time, we will continue to bring you the spirited information that we have in our beloved Federation. In the meantime, let's take a quick listen to what my boy Malvern Gums out of St. Thomas there have to say about the DJ.
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're listening to DJ Mauricio, playing you the best in Caribbean music.
You got that?
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're locked into DJ Mauricio. Keep it locked.
Right there. Don't skip a beat, because if you change that dial, you'll be missing out on a lot of information this evening. Lots to talk about, lots to follow up on, and to keep things real. No gimmicks, no tricks. Not doing this thing for likes. We're doing it to bring you the facts about what is happening in our beloved Federation. So let me see if I can find my boy, the man Cabo. Let him tell you about what's taking place over there in Fountain Nevis this Saturday. Cabo, the best goat water in the Federation.
Cabos, located at Fountain Village in Nevis, is the go-to spot for your Saturday treats. Tantalize your taste buds with his delectable Cabos Delicacy Goat Water. Or, if you prefer some soul food, then Cabos Fungi and Fish is definitely the way to go. Call ahead and reserve at 869-663-9694. Then make your way over to Cabos and enjoy the vibrant atmosphere. while you savor your delicacy. Cabos, we are not changing, we are only improving.
Food all over, food all over. You got the food all over.
You heard it right, Carbo have the food all over the island of Nevis. And he also extended here to the Sister Island St. Kitts. Remember, Carbo can be reached for any event that you want to get your goat water or your fungi and fish. Just give him a call and tell him that DJ Marisha sent you, and he'll be happy to accommodate. Let's hear what my girl, Sister Carmen, have to say. Carmen of Carmen Caterers.
Girl Sandra, you know where you can find nice fresh local food 7 days a week, one provision and all kind of thing. Girl, where? Right down there by Shellings, by Carmen Catering Services. Girl, she opposite the bus stop. Girl, and she also cater for weddings, parties, anything you want to cater for, funeral and all. Girl, and trust me, you're gonna enjoy the food. And she also selling bites and Sundays. Opposite the car shop, right down the main road. Girl, you could call 665-1494 or 663-6005 to order your food or go and pick up your food. Girl, the food will be finger licking and you get your money worth. You ain't want nothing better than that.
That's right. Sister Carmen, organize you there. You don't want nothing better than that. Let's take a quick listen to Sister Carmen launching for this coming Sunday. Let's hear what Carmen have to tell you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmen Catering Services. We'll be having a wonderful luncheon this Sunday coming in Boyd's Village, right on the main road, opposite the Gawo shop. You can't miss it. Come on down to Boyd's Village because we'll also be having a raffle and you have to be in it to win it. You might just be that lucky person to win a sunset VIP ticket. Also, a 3-piece blender set or a week free lunch from Carmen Catering Services. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't go wrong. Come on down to Boys. Join us. You will enjoy.
Yes, you heard that. Come on down to Boys this coming Sunday, where Sister Carmen will be giving her lunch in there in the Boys Village, right at the bus stop next to the Agawa shop. Check out Sister Carmen and let her know that DJ Marisha sent you and everything will be nice and lovely. Well, folks, this evening I'm going to jump straight into my boy J.A. Dwyer Astafan's commentary because once I finish with Dwyer, it's no holds bar this evening. Lots to update on, lots of conversation. By the way, I get my letter. We're going to deal with that this evening. I did get my letter, so Big Lie saying got nothing on me. We'll talk about that in a few. Stand by for J.A. Dwyer Astafan commentary for today.
Greetings. Our Citizenship by Investment program has been the subject of much discussion for years, especially in the last couple of years. But there is a very important and a potentially perilous aspect of the CBI which has not received enough discussion. So let's have a look at it today. Section 92 of the Constitution of St. Kitts and Nevis states that certain persons who are not citizens of our country are, upon making application, entitled to be registered as citizens. This section lists a number of categories. I will refer to 4. 1. Any person who is married to a citizen. 2. Any citizen of a British Commonwealth country who is and has been ordinarily resident in St. Kitts and Nevis for 14 years preceding the date of his or her application. That is called naturalization. And there is an act called the St. Christopher and Nevis Citizenship Act, which contains a provision that provides for naturalization of persons who are not citizens of Commonwealth countries. The third category is any person under the age of 18 who is the child of a citizen. And the fourth one is such other person as may be prescribed by Parliament, persons. This last category is the one under which the CBI operates. And it all happens through the act to which I earlier referred, the St. Christopher and Nevis Citizenship Act, which at section 3, subsection 5 states that subject to certain conditions set out in the act, a person is entitled upon making application and upon payment of any fee that may be prescribed. Remember this, any fee that may be prescribed. It is important that the fee that is prescribed is paid. That person is entitled to be registered as a citizen without any rights of voting, save under and in accordance with the provisions of any law dealing with the qualification of voters. And this coming up is also very important. If the cabinet is satisfied that such person has invested substantially in St. Kitts and Nevis, the substantial investment being the minimum investment stipulated in the law. The Act provides for regulations, which from time to time over the last 13 years have been amended, most recently in July of this year. Section 3, subsection 5 of the Act cannot be any clearer. It states that upon payment of any fee that may be prescribed. Well, for the jail project, the minimum fee prescribed by law was $175,000. This section also says that Cabinet has to be satisfied that the applicant has invested substantially in St. Kitts and Nevis. In other words, has paid the minimum price set by law. I am prepared to consider betting my last dollar that the Cabinet, present or past, examined not one of these Galaxy Jail project applications, or indeed not one other application from any other project, to satisfy itself that the investment was substantial to the extent that it satisfied the requirement of the law. So whoever have been and are still trying to fool you about market price and don't worry about the price set in the regulations, and who are trying to fool you into believing that the law has not been broken, should be ashamed of themselves. But worse, if you are allowing yourselves to be fooled, you should be ashamed of yourselves. To be fooled is bad, and to be robbed is bad. But to be fooled and robbed, I can't find a word for that. But I can say, Lord, have mercy. But we are discussing other aspects today. Subsection 8 of subsection 5 of the Act authorizes the Minister of National Security to refuse to register a person as a citizen if he or she is satisfied that there are reasonable grounds in the interest of defense, public safety, or public order to do so. And the Act allows the minister to revoke citizenships in certain circumstances. The existing regulations state, among other things, that any person aged 18 or over who has made or who has agreed to make an investment or contribution pursuant to one of the CBI options contained in the regulations, and who meets the CBI requirements, may apply as a main applicant. Of course, there are exceptions and conditions. And the applicant can include his or her spouse, the biological or adopted children of the applicant or the spouse who are under the age of 18, as well as children over 18 who are mentally or physically challenged, as well as children between the ages of 18 and 25 who are studying full-time at a recognized secondary or tertiary institution, and who are fully supported by the main applicant, as well also as parents of the main applicant or his spouse who are 65 years or older and who are living with and are fully supported by the main applicant. So a single application can include a good number of persons. There are provisions in the regulations to penalize offenders, but in my opinion, the fines which offenders have to pay are way too small. Let us now focus on the main point of today's commentary. To date, my guess is that there are over 60,000 people who hold CBI passports for St. Kitts Nevis. Maybe the same or about the same as the natural citizens. Suppose 10,000, even 5,000, even 1,000 of them are of voting age and decide to come here to register. Now, although Section 3, subsection 5 of the Act says that they do not have voting rights, save and in accordance with the provisions of any law governing the qualification of voters, the truth is that there are differences of opinion in the legal community as to the effectiveness of that provision and as to whether these people can or cannot vote. If these CBI citizens are allowed to vote, then even if as few as 500 of them vote in an election, depending on where they are registered, they can determine the outcome of the election. For me, that is a red flag. For you, I don't know. You have to decide. But while most of them might not be qualified for membership in Parliament and Cabinet, just by their voting power, and I said most of them because some of them will be, and I'll tell you why later, but just by their voting power, they can determine who runs the country. Let me tell you now, the children of some of them, if those children are born here, can run for Parliament. Indeed, even without voting power, we could never rule out the possibility that if relationships are cultivated between some of them and local decision makers, they could exercise a major influence on who runs this country and how. We've seen this happen before. That is another red flag for me. Is it one for you too? Further, as citizens, and even before they become citizens, if they are in St. Kitts, even for a brief visit, and I mentioned this briefly earlier, if only to have their babies here, or if they happen to have babies born here, those babies can run for Parliament and public office when they become 21 years of age, once they are domiciled here at the time of their nomination. Might this be little more than a chance occurrence, but a chance occurrence which we should or must prevent? Or could it be part of an ulterior plan which we should or must prevent? I'm trying not to be paranoid. Instead, I'm trying to be careful. For me, this is another red flag. Prevention is always the best form of treating a problem. Further, once they are citizens, there is nothing to stop them from coming home. I said the word home. And while they are here, they can enter the business community, take up as much space as they can at all levels of the economy because they are citizens. They can take up any job that they wish because they are citizens. They can buy as much land as they want because they are citizens, and so on. Further marginalizing the local people right here in the land of our birth. And they can, by their very presence, exert greater pressure on our physical and social infrastructure than we can handle, and that is good and sustainable for us. In the meanwhile, creating cultural, social, economic, and political imbalances and a new colonial paradigm. Please pay attention to the fact that colonizing a country and its people nowadays is not necessarily done by guns. They don't need to put a military base in your country to colonize it. It can be done through diplomacy, especially if your representatives are weak or corrupt or both. It can be done through immigration, investment, and any other way that creates an opening for them to do so. We must make sure that that never happens. Mainland China has mastered this. Look at what they've done in Africa and in the Caribbean and Latin America. Not a bullet fired, none needed. Imagine even 1,000 of these 60,000 plus CBI citizens coming home to St. Kitts Nevis to settle. But that's not the end of it. Our constitution and laws provide that the spouse of a citizen has the right to be registered as a citizen. I read that part of section 92 for you earlier, if you're married to a citizen. So every one of these CBI citizens, if they divorce their present spouses, can remarry, and the new spouses can apply for St. Kitts Nevis citizenship, I think. And every child of that new marriage can apply for citizenship under our law. Further, every child who holds a passport of St. Kitts Nevis under the CBI can get married and apply for his or her spouse to be a citizen. And every child flowing from those marriages can apply for citizenship, being the children under the age of 18 of citizens. Constitution section 92 says that. Maybe I am misunderstanding and misinterpreting, and if that is the case, I'd be more than happy to be corrected. In the meantime, the way I see it, it is dangerously open, wide open, and it is not wise to allow it to remain that way. Now again, bear in mind that every single one of them, present and to come, has the right to come to St. Kitts to do business and to live. As citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, they will also have free movement within the OECS and can pretty much do whatever they please anywhere in the OECS. And if the ill-advised, I call it ill-advised, free movement proposition throughout CARICOM becomes a reality, then these St. Kitts Nevis CBI folks will now have freedom of movement and settlement throughout CARICOM. Colonization, not just of one or two islands, but of a region. This could have serious geopolitical consequences and serious, very serious patrimonial consequences for us, the denizens of the Caribbean. And I can go on, but I think you get the picture. Is this what we want? It's certainly not what I want. You have to decide what you want. So in addition to tightening up this loose situation, we have to make sure that all of these people who got CBI citizenship under false pretense or otherwise illegally either pay up their balances to the government or have their citizenships revoked. I don't think the government has any choice. I therefore call upon them, the federal government, the Nevis Island administration, and you, the people of this country, to have a very serious and sober discussion of these matters. I urge you to seriously consider these matters. Yes, I'm a supporter of the CBI, but I have great concerns as to the administration, management, and conduct of the industry. Let us tailor it legally, reasonably, and fairly to suit our needs, to allow us to radiate as a model country administering a model industry. We have to make sure in the process that we protect ourselves and our patrimony. And I think we have a responsibility to protect as best we can the interests and the patrimony of our fellow regional territories. This plea is not new, and the past is the past. but we have to get down to the work of fixing, preventing, and making sure that generations to come will not be strangers in their own land. Thank you.
Yes, that's the man, Brother J.A. Dwyer Astafan. And that commentary really dropped in line with what's taking place here in our beloved Federation in regards to really what is happening here with the CBI. Brother Benta, tap your screen, open your mic there. As I said to you weekly, brother, there are many new folks online. So, you know the order of the day. Can give a quick synopsis of who Brother Benta is. You're a wanted man in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis, my brother. So let the people know
Thank you. And thank you, Brother Marisha, and to your listening viewing audience as well. My name is Oakland Benta, an ex-chief of police, an ex-senator of the U.S. Virgin Islands, ex-vice president of a telecommunication corporation, and vice president of several banks as well, and an advisor to CARICOM for some of the OECS countries throughout the region. And I'm honored to be on with you this evening and following with some of your great listeners who have I've spoken to, and I want to thank them for their words of encouragement as well. Good evening, all.
Okay, Brother Benta. Well, over the weekend, I had a little dull moment, a little dull setback. So I'm going to start off with that this evening, paying some tribute and condolences to my baby girl. Sister Etlin took flight on Saturday, passed away on Saturday morning. When I got the news, I went into a very serious depression because I want to know how will my 6-year-old baby girl deal with that situation. But Brother Benta, it turned out that she's doing better than me. You know, I called her and Sunday, I waited until Sunday to call to see how she was doing. And when she picked up the phone, she said, "Daddy, I have something to tell you." I said, "Yeah, what's up?" She said, "My grandma passed away." I said, "Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Do you know what that means?" She said, "Yes." I said, "What does it mean?" She said, "Well, my grandma went to be with my other grandma and Jesus. And when my mom died, she's going to go to be with my grandma, my 2 grandma and Jesus. And when I die, I'm going to go to be with my mommy, with my 2 grandma and Jesus. And if my mommy die, if I die before my mommy, I will go to be with my 2 grandma and Jesus. And when mommy dies, she's going to come to be with me and my 2 grandma and Jesus." I said, "Man, this child at 6 years old have more sense than a lot of these politicians I have here in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis." Because whatever her mother explained to her, she took it as that and she can break it down to that understanding. So before I get into the main event this evening, I want to drop this track that I played some weeks ago. That track about storybook children. I want to drop this track for my baby girl. So stand by.
You've got your world, and I've got mine, and it's a shame 2 grown-up worlds that will never be the same.
My baby girl, this one is for you. Love every time.
Why can't we be like storybook children, running through the rain, hand in hand across the meadow? Why can't we be like storybook children in a wonderland where nothing's planned for tomorrow? You've got his ring, you've got his heart, you've got his baby. And Billy, it's too late to turn away and start all over again. Oh no, don't tell me it's too late, baby. Why can't we be like storybook children, running through the rain, hand in hand, across the meadow? Hold my hand one more time. Why can't we be like storybook children in a wonderland when the bass play for tomorrow? Ooh, how happy we would be if only we were storybook children.
Yeah, Brother Benta, that track is dedicated to my baby girl there. And I wish her and her mom, the rest of the family, peace and prosperity. It's going to be a while before they get over that loss. Sister Ethelyn Gerald was a very kind-hearted, lovely young lady there. Sorry that she left us so soon, but it's a road we all have to travel. Well, Brother Benta, I get my letter. And I'm going to give my online viewers a little synopsis of what is in this letter. You know, if it was not so serious, it'll be laughable. And it's unfortunate that I couldn't find a lawyer in St. Kitts to send me a letter. They had to go to Nevis, because I don't think nobody in St. Kitts will write this nonsense. But before I read it, before I give a synopsis of what this document is saying, let me drop this track from my boy Big Lice, because people must understand when they send letters, prepare to get an answer. So let me drop this one for them.
Oh yes, ma'am, my good friend Melvin Davis, I got the letter, trying to scare me, but that can't stop me. I got a letter last December in response to my calypso. The writer wanted me to answer why I attacked the government so. How dare I sing about labor? How dare I show disfavor? How dare I suggest that the doctor was a pathological liar? The letter went on to inform me that they will deduct my salary. Oh, in 95 when I went to study, I left the country in purpose. The letter said, you got to pay. Big Lice boy, you can't get away. You can't take the people's money and get away scot-free. No matter how long it take me, you are gonna pay back the treasury. So let this be a warning, doctor, your day is coming. When your waiting is over, I hope you're ready for your letter. All the money missing, going overseas to New York. We gotta talk. You see this thing they call power, sometimes it gets to your head. It could even cause a doctor to somehow become weighted. So much so he gets on the radio talking things that he don't know. And when I sing in my calypso, he get on like a puppy show. It is
understand there in this country. I stand for democracy. When because one speaks the truth freely, one is targeted on him. The letter say you got to pay. Big like small, you can't get away. You can't take the people's money and get away scot-free. No matter how long it take we, you have to pay back the treasury. So let this be a warning. Doctor, your day is coming. When your reign is over, I hope you're ready for your letter. Give me life. Oh yes. People asking me what's happening, but I go. Keep asking me big lies what happened. How could a single calypso cause the doctor to act so doting for a whole week on radio? And the Coney who signed the letter, she too should have known better. Before fixing her signature, she should have thought of the procedure. The doctor talk about the people's money and question my integrity, but he was so eager to get at me, we had to double check his stroke. The letter say you got to pay. Big like small, you can't get away. You can't take the people's money and get away scot-free. No matter how long it take we, you have to pay back the treasury. So let this be a warning. Doctor, your day is coming. When your reign is over, I hope you're ready for your letter. Give it up. Yeah. Writing me letter. What stupidness. Oh, listen. My letter came in December, but yours might be on its way. But trust me, it's a dead letter, trying to tell me what to say. How dare you try to dissuade me from addressing the wrongs I see? Could be a red letter there in this country when the labor becomes history. You're trying hard to persecute me for singing truthfully. But remember, when you write a letter, you must prepare to get that answer. Your letter would say, doctor, you got to pay. Denzel boy, you can't get away. You can't take the people's money and get away scot-free. No matter how long it take we, you have to pay back the treasury. So let this be a warning. Doctor, your day is coming. When your reign is over, I hope you're ready for your letter. Give it up. Every cent you gonna pay back. All a million going to New York City.
Yes, that's my boy Big Lice. And you see, Big Lice is a prophet because he's a doctor that had apparently her attorney send me this letter. And to me, the letter is dead on arrival. It's a dead letter. Trying to slow down the DJ, trying to scare the DJ. They don't know this DJ don't got no sense. The DJ born with sense. He got common sense, but not sense for these nonsense here. As Kant would say, I don't tolerate this kind of stuff. Well, Brother Benton, let me just, by background, give the people a little update on what the situation is. Because there's a whole bunch of nonsense in this letter. They want to tell me what to say and what not to say. And if it's one thing I know about the legal system, when things is of public knowledge and it's factual, you talk about it. If you're lying on somebody, you're defaming them, that's a problem. But when it comes to the truth and the facts, you talk about it, it's public knowledge. So last Friday, while I'm attending a funeral for my neighbor down here, Sister Elrina, I received a call from a young man identifying himself as the High Court bailiff. So he's trying to get in touch with Jeffrey Marisha. I said, you're speaking to him? He said, well, I have a document for you from the High Court. I need to know where I can find you. So I told him where to find me, at my bunker, and what time I'll be leaving the funeral. So he came and brought the document. I tell him, I hope they pay for it, because I'll pay for it if they didn't pay for it. But anyway, he said he got paid to deliver it. So I accepted. But upon opening this document, first, my name is spelled wrong. I don't know why they give me a new name, because that ain't how my name's spelled. But it's the content of the letter that make me smile, laugh, and wonder if some people really brain dead when they got these imaginations in their head and they actually go and pay a lawyer to write these things that then they are not truthful. Now, before I even read the letter, by way of background, like I said earlier, the good doctor has a senior home in Saddlers. There's a gentleman who was housed there, from what I understand, for some 4 years or more, that was reported missing on the 1st of August, 2024. Young man is a friend of mine. He was reported missing on the 1st of August. I joined several search to find the young man, or the elderly man, as you may call it, my good friend. Well, after several days of trying, and the police and whoever was doing their search was not successful, and I realized everybody is giving up, this good DJ decided to reach out to the police commissioner to ask for some assistance. The deputy prime minister, who was acting prime minister at the time, are still waiting for a return call from him. I ain't get it yet. But the commissioner of police did return the call, and we was able to put things in gear. And the public knows the facts. We went out in search of the gentleman on the 9th of August. The gentleman's daughter from the US and her brother was here for the search. We found the gentleman's body in a gut side in Saddlers Mountain, dead. 9 days after he went missing, dead. When I approached the good doctor to give my condolences and my sympathies, told us, sorry, happy that we found the gentleman, sorry we found him dead. Up to now, the lady didn't say good morning or good afternoon to me. No appreciation. The background to this story is that this lady might have forgot that I have a cousin in that home that I put there at the request of a family member in January of 2023, and was there up to the point when my good friend went missing. The facts of the matters are, I had started a group chat with the lady's kid, my cousin kids, including the doctor that's supposed to notify us on a weekly basis. The status of my cousin is months, maybe almost a year, that this lady have not put nothing in the chat. I give up. I leave it to the kids them to deal with her, because I facilitate the move to take my cousin there, and I give them my opinion. It's time for her to move on. Where the straw broke the camel back for me. And anybody with good sense who love a family member would understand this. There's a group chat with the family, with all the kids of my cousin and myself. This gentleman went missing on the 1st of August, sorry. He was found dead on the 9th. He was buried on the 21st. After not hearing from the good doctor to speak to the family members, I update them on the situation and let them know my position. And they need to take their mother out of that place. It's no longer safe for their mother to be there. That was my opinion. That was my assessment. That was my experience. Nobody can tell me what to experience. I decided not to give the good doctor any advance notice more than 24 hours because I was concerned about the safety of my family member. So I did not give no long notice. We went ahead and made arrangement for my family to move. I was going to pick my family member up on the 2nd of August. So I went on the 1st of August to notify the good doctor of my intention. The good doctor was nowhere to be found in person, nor via the telephone. So if something was to be wrong with my cousin, I do not know who would take care of her, because the good doctor in which my cousin care was placed were not available. Anyway, on the Monday morning, the 2nd of September, sorry, I received a WhatsApp message from the good doctor saying that her worker informed her that I'm coming to pick up my cousin on Monday. Please confirm if that is so. I confirm that it was so. I'm coming to get my cousin. Now, as I said, the reason for that move, over a month, a man went missing, found dead, buried, and not a word from that good doctor to myself or the family them. What I know is what I know because I'm in St. Kitts. What kind of facility are you running? That you have people, family in your place, you had an incident and you don't have the courtesy of letting the people know what's going on, let them know their family is safe. So I choose and I advise to take our family out of there. That was done on the 2nd. I had no intention of telling the good doctor workers what I am doing. Let her tell them herself. I went there on the 1st to speak to her directly. She was not there. When she messaged me that Monday, she wanted to know if something is wrong. I tell her we will speak when we see each other. She said we can speak on Wednesday. So no problem, we could speak on Wednesday. On the Monday afternoon, I knew my family was not going back there, and I don't want him to think she went missing. I messaged the good doctor and let her know my family would not be coming home that evening. I am still waiting to tell her in person, not over the phone, what the decision was. Being courteous. When I send that message, all of a sudden, she's available to speak on Tuesday. We're going to speak on Tuesday at 4 o'clock. Just about minutes to 4, I'm there waiting. I receive a call from her. She's running late. Can we move the time to 5 o'clock? No problem. We eventually spoke at 5 p.m. Now, she questioned the way that I did what I did. And like I just said, I told her straight up, no long conversation. I lost confidence in you and what you're doing here and the situation with my partner that went missing. That was the straw that broke the camel back. And I decided my family have to leave your place. I said, all I want from you is no argument, is provide me with the receipts, the test that was done, her medical record, her phone, her wheelchair, whatever article I have for her, and an invoice, how much money is owed to you. Whatever money is owed to you, you will be paid. That was understood. She told me pick them up the next day. She also asked, why didn't I tell her worker what I was doing? I said, I did not have any arrangement with your workers. The arrangement was with you. So whatever you want to tell your workers, you tell them. I'm speaking to you direct. She said, okay, she understands that and she appreciates that. Well, by the Wednesday morning, I had forgot that I have my Facebook Live and I have to start early. So I could not be up there for 5 o'clock when I'm going live at 5. So I called the Wednesday morning to let her know I can't make it up there at 5. Can I come earlier? I'll come the next day. Well, I ain't get a word in as yet. The good doctor is on the top of her voice, screaming because I come and take my family out of there and this and that and that and all the other and all the other. I left a message with the good doctor via WhatsApp. Please provide me with the information that I request. The final invoice, what is owed to you, you will be paid. I did not hear from the good doctor until last Friday via the bailiff. And this is what is in the dead letter. I call it a dead letter. It says outstanding invoice for providing residential nursing care. 2. I'm not going to call the name. And then the individual that wrote this letter states, we are the legal practitioners acting on behalf of the good doctor, the home, and our client instruct us that you admitted a patient by the name of on the 17th day of January 2023 to her residential nursing facility to be cared for. It is our instructions that you were advised that a monthly fee in the amount of EC, $2,500, will be instituted in order to host the patient. We are advised that one of the patient's daughter, namely X, agreed to the admission of her mother and instructed our client that she will pay 1,100 EC dollars, Eastern Caribbean dollars currency, and the balance money, $1,400 EC, will be paid from her Social Security pension fund. Okay, so according to the letter, I dropped somebody to her home. The family member of that person made arrangement to pay a monthly fee. Let's move on to the next page. As I said, I'm not reading the whole letter. I'm just going through the basics. Now, the patient was in a home, according to the letter, for 1 year and 8 months. She never received a complaint from myself or the patient family prior to her leaving the facility. So she was quite baffled by the sudden promptness to remove her from the home and your sudden urges to defame her, her business and caretakers. Now, again, like I said, the good doctor, something is wrong in her head, because she can recall on numerous occasions when I questioned her about her care, it was always a negative response. As a matter of fact, at the front of this letter, the daughter of the person that is paying the bill monthly tried to get information, and the good doctor threatened to block her from her phone. You got somebody paying you to take care of their family, and because they're questioning the care, you're threatening to block them from your phone. How are you going to take care of the people peaceful? So, like Brother Big Lie said, some doctors have a problem, something wrong with the head, some of them. Let's move on. We are instructed that after some back and forth with minute discrepancies you and our client were having. Okay, we are instructed that after some back and forth, minute discrepancies you and our client were having, you showed up to the facility on the 1st day of September 2004 and took the patient from the home. Again, falsehood. I showed up at the home on the 1st of September to give notice that I'll be removing the patient on the 2nd of September. Right? Anyway, this is what the letter said. With the impression that you will bring her back the same day. However, you did not return. The patient were instructed that on the 2nd day of September, you sent a text message to our client, phone terminating the service of the nursing home by informing her that the patient will not be returning to the facility. Again, falsehood. The termination was done in person, not via phone. It was an agreement. We all understood what had to take place. So the letter continues. And went on that you need the patient's belongings and medical reports. Our client advised that your request cannot be fulfilled. The reason why, according to this letter, my request for medical records cannot be fulfilled is because the patient is no longer in the care of that home. Well, if I ever hear any more donkeyness in my life, this is donkeyness. You got somebody in your care for 1 year and 8 months, and because they're no longer in your care, you cannot produce the medical records. So what went on for a year and 8 months? They vanish in thin air. All the tests that you charge for, that there's no receipt to show that this test was ever taken, or any results that this test was ever taken, they just vanish in thin air. Well, good doctor, I would hope that you're listening to this show, you know, because I need everything I ask for. The family need everything we ask for, including the wheelchair and the brand new cell phone that I paid for from Flo. We need everything that is due to our family members. So this letter don't mean nothing to me. Since you take it to this level, when a judge tells me to pay you, you will be paid what the judge said. Whatever the judge said to pay you, you will get it. But since you want to go down this road, it's not going to be well for you. It is not going to be well for you because this is unnecessary and this is nonsense. As I continue, our client advised that your request cannot be fulfilled because the patient is no longer in her care. Full stop. The last time Social Security made payment was in July of 2024. The payments come in advance. So if you got paid in July, honorable doctor, good doctor, you got paid up to the end of August. You get paid monthly in advance. You got paid to August. Again, submit the bill, submit the receipts, submit the information, whatever is due to you, nobody is fighting you for it. You will be paid. Just provide the information that is requested. That's all we ask. She said that the fact that the last money is received in July 2024, which suggests that instructions were sent to Social Security in June 2024 to cease payments for this patient. The honest truth is, instructions only went to Social Security after my good friend went missing for a month and was already buried. Found dead. Basically, Dead, literally dead. And no communication from the good doctor. That is the only time that instructions was sent to Social Security, because I reached the end of my road with the good doctor. And we was going to make that move. It's a letter writing, 3-page letter. I enjoy the read. Very, very entertaining. Our client instructs that there be an outstanding invoice to be paid for the service rendered for the period of 19th of August, 2024 to September 18th, 2024. As I said, if you go back to the front of this letter, the good doctor, this letter stated that the patient was removed from that home on or about the 1st or 2nd of September. So if the patient was removed on or about the 1st or 2nd of September, why you're looking to be paid up to the 18th of September? You was taking care of a phantom patient? Anyway, continue. Please find attached invoice number 20 in the amount of $2,800, Eastern Caribbean dollars. Now, apparently, she asked for $2,500. She didn't get it. She added on $300 for Pampers, which never asked for before. So she's struggling to find money. You're going to need more than money, trust me. You're going to need God. It went on further. It says, our client instructs us that you are a talk show host on ZIZ. Well, I guess they give me a job on ZIZ. I didn't know it was on ZIZ. As a matter of fact, if this program was to air on ZIZ would go out of service every night, because the audience that I will bring on ZIZ with this type of program, they wouldn't be able to carry the amount of people. And ZIZ can't pay me for this kind of program. But somewhere in the doctor's head, she gave instructions to her attorney that I am also a talk show host on ZIZ. Okay, ZIZ Radio. And in recent times, a client have instructed that I have a talk show platform that slander her name with malicious and gross insults about the operation and function of a home. I give the facts. I give the facts. The facts are there. The facts speak for themselves. And in the final paragraph that I'm going to read this evening, said, in circumstances, we are now right to demand that you immediately cease and desist from spreading propaganda on her. I will not spread any propaganda on the good doctor. However, I will continue to update the general public on the matter in this case. I will continue to come here weekly and update the general public on the status of this case. That is my intention. I expect to see changes not just for that home, but for every elder care home in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. There must be laws put in place. We must not have this tragedy happen to anyone else again. That's my mission. So I will continue to come here weekly and give updates. No propaganda. So I am not spreading any lies, neither on her home, or her workers. Now, you pay to our client $2,800 for residential nursing care from August 19 to 2024 to September 18, 2024. Cost of solicitor letter, $250. Well, I could tell the solicitor, this letter does not value $25. The information in this letter does not value $25. The bailiff fee, you should get about $500 to deliver it. $100 is not enough to deliver this garbage. People that work on garbage truck should be paid at a higher level. This is nonsense. Legal collection costs $280. All money is totaling $3,430. Eastern Caribbean to be paid to our chambers on or before Friday the 4th of October. Well, I would like to let the good doctor and her turn in this evening. No money will be coming from me. to you guys by October 4th. Do what you all have to do. My attorney will respond in kind. I am not someone that you just push around with propaganda. Whoever might be afraid of lawyers, I love lawyers. I love police. I love the military. I love the law. I enjoy law. I love law. I want to follow. St. Kitts seems to be a lawless country. Navy seems to be a lawless island. Because from the politician them down, nobody seems like they want to do the right thing. But DJ Marisha will stand, whether on his own or with the support of the community, to ensure that this situation never happen again in this federation. DJ Marisha will ensure that I see this to the end. So bring all the letter them all you got. Bring all the lawyer them all you got. Because none of them going to deter me from my mission to see a change in this healthcare system. And the final line is that we trust that good sense will prevail in this matter and further legal action would prove unnecessary. Well, I will tell you all, if you all expect me to bring $3,430 to you all, legal action is necessary because I not get it. It is not forthcoming. So, Brother Benta, good evening. Open your mic, your input. Tap your screen. Tap. Yeah.
Thank you. I am just impressed by sitting and listening to you read, actually. And I'm very surprised that a law firm, if that's what it is, would have written a letter in a genre of which it's written to an individual who has a loved one in a facility. And I want to impose intercessors here, because this now stems to just not to the center, but as an intercessor to the government. Now it's a prayer, actually. But this thing is getting a little more cumbersome that it should not even get to where it's at. It's almost in the form of reprobate, actually. But for the written and written documents you have before you, I would say to you, is your family a consumable item? In other words, is she a gas at a gas station? Is she an item on a shelf? Is she a clothing in a clothing store? Is she a commodity? One. Your payments over the years or year and months of the services provided by that institution. And based on not just you, but was there a police report made on a missing person?
Can't see it yet, I don't know. The jury's out on those things. I still have not gotten an update. The individual that went missing, I speak to family members who are still waiting to hear from.
Is the knowledge of the incident of the missing gentleman that passed known throughout the nation of St. Kitts and Nevis?
Around the world.
And as such, is there a footprint of concern that you should have had or have concerning the issue as it pertains to other family members who have lost a loved one by way of their vacating the premises that should have been pretty much under strict adherence to observe and protect all patients within that facility? And the answer is yes. Should it have been one of those things where I know that the police report was made of, the original report was made of a missing person? Should it have been one of those things where in the search that was conducted along with what the initiative put in place, was there any initiative by the facility for any search party noted, documented, any agency or government requesting the assistance and they along with the agencies conducting a search for this missing person? I said no. So when the issue is raised and the document written in its correspondence to you, and you said it was submitted to you by an officer of the court?
High Court bailiff.
Oh, that's very good. And you have the date, did you sign the date receipt?
I didn't have to sign it. They
Oh,
gave
it
me
was,
the,
okay.
They gave me the letter and I have it.
Oh, that's pretty good. Now then, you now know, because of what they have remitted to you, the government itself under its own program, basically throughout the United Nations, which the Prime Minister was attending for the past couple of days. I don't know if he's still at the UN in New York attending those hearings. human trafficking, human health, welfare, senior citizen, all these different categories of discussions were being held at the UN within the last couple of days. And you have an individual to date and a loved one of yours to date that you saw the reason for what you saw happen before with your involvement. You took the steps and initiative to protect your own because they're not a commodity. The payments made, the records retained, all of what was paid for, those are your documents. The records of note as far as charge, as far as some of the services, some of the documents belong to the institution. But what you pay for, you are entitled to those documents because you paid for them. Now, the government itself now, in this document that has been remitted to you, I would then take that document to the government, which have the oversight over that agency, as to what your request has been for your family member, using what you can identify as plausible actions that was not taken, denied to the individual who passed away, and show the negligence upon which the institution of which that person whose family remitted them to be looked after went through. And then you yourself take this matter to the high courts yourself. But let me tell you what's on your side. The mere fact that the law firm is responding to something where they're actually admitting many segments of what they should not have even touched. It should have been more of a discussion to be had in person rather than remitting it in writing to show the negligence of the institution. Because the individual who walked away and expired, the young lady who, I call a young lady, your family who was there, who you feel was not getting the services that she should based on what family members have requested of the agency in the past, and still to date has not received it. The threats of disconnection from communicating based on information to be provided based on the services being provided that's being paid for by your family member, that the entity refused to decline and threatened to disconnect or discontinue conversation with a family member who was paying or allowed payments for the services to be provided. That in itself is more than many things in one way. I'm surprised that it took so long, but I'm happy that it did, because actually what they've done is made your case easier against the institution for negligence and breach of contract for the services. That's what they did. I'm very surprised that this is what it has boiled down to based on what the law firm who filed this document in the courts. And they still have, and you still have an agency in the government that deals with senior citizens and human services that requires that certain functionality of agencies must be adhered to. Responsible, the reports as far as reporting, and all the other aspects of the services to allow that business to run a business that has to be approved by a government agency. And here it is, they are remitting something to a private law firm. I would take it also to the government. If the government doesn't act in your favor and your behalf as well, then you also take the government to task. This is a home run for you.
We're on the same page. We are on the same page here.
Mm-hmm. But it's sad though, Brother Marisha, because you're speaking about a family member of yours now. You're not talking about trash. You're speaking about a human being and a human aspect. And for listening to some of the things that I heard you mention, where even to the cell phone of the person went missing until you threatened the agency to get it back. A wheelchair which you provided to provide some of the services that you paid for. And all that should have been prescribed or appropriated or provided to your family member that the agency can accord or record or inform you of. Then there's a serious issue with the services and the agency with that's within the government or the ministry within the government that has the oversight over that entity now have more than enough for them to look into based on your complaint that you're going to file or have filed.
Have filed.
With that agency, along with the accommodation of the prepared, well explained illicit document. Because here it is, you file a complaint and this document comes how many days later of a complaint that you've already initiated to the respective agency of overview or oversight. And fiduciary responsibility over has also been notified prior to this letter. So I don't see a down on this. I know it's an upsetting discussion because, of course, we're talking about a human being. and your comfort level was lost because of what happened to an individual who walked away. And your comfort level was lost because to date the family has not been apprised as far as what and how and all of the other questions they've been asking from before. How did this happen? None of these questions were answered, nor is there a police report that has been completed within a certain amount of date of investigation. So there's so many deterioration in the process when it comes to human rights. So through the treaty of which I provided you, which requires certain actions to be taken, certain guidelines to be followed, regulations to be followed, I'm very surprised again, like I said, that a law firm would have written a letter via the court to ask you to cease and desist, I guess. I guess they want to put a gag order on you in order to say to you, say no more about this, because here it is, we filed with a court for you to shut your mouth. I think that's what I'm hearing. But the spell of this is this, that they can't shut you up. It's an agency that's being monitored or should be monitored by the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. It's an agency that has a license, licensed by the government of St. Kitts and Nevis to provide the services as an addendum to the agency or the ministry that oversight, that don't have the facility that the government should have. So the government allow for a private entity to assume the role of running an agency to assist the government. It's like a subsidy. And through that, they must comply with all of the rules and regulation of the ministry, as if they were in a government facility for the services that the government allowed for them to provide. So this is now something the admonition of the government, where government, based on where that services is licensed under, you're actually a caveat under the government for the services you remitted to this private company that has to answer to the government to continue to have their doors open and provide this type of service for anybody. I'm very surprised that that letter was written again. It opens the door for much more damage and much more review, and I'll guide you as far as where you can take it. Because in this, it just doesn't mean just the nation of St. Kitts and Nevis have the oversight when it comes to human being and services when it comes to our senior citizen, our children under the medical system, and the insurance company. Our pension that is being paid out for has also a clause that needs to be followed as well and not followed. I think what many would think of when you look at what's going on when people retire and monies are being remitted from their pension for these services through their insurance, the insurance agency also has an oversight responsibility as well. So it'll be interesting for me to hear what the insurance company that's making the payment, which is through the pension. The name of the pension of St. Kitts, I got to see what the name is again, but
Social Security pension.
Social Security also has a responsibility for the healthcare that's being paid to that agency for the retiree. So then there's many different doors that they're opening doors for you to go into now that has oversight as well. So I say to you, Godspeed, hold strain, and just take the steps, because they just made it much more easier for you, because you've been acknowledged and you have all the records to show that you've been communicating, and you have all the records to show that you made contact in person, not on the phone, as you said, that you've actually made yourself present at the institution, not as they're saying as impromptu or impersonal, and made your requests and your demands for what you want for your loved one.
Yeah, Brother Bent, as I said, when I read the letter, I just smiled to myself and I laughed to myself, because I'm saying, well, this good doctor really not as smart as you think, because there was no need for all of this. And basically, had she gone the right road, she might have just get her money just for peace sake. But when you're going to go down this road, then I'm going to stand up to you, because you're trying to bully me to give you something that is you're not entitled to. And that's not going to happen. So right now, it's like she started a ground war. That's not going to go well for her, because I'm not going to stop. This war that she started will not be ended by her. I am taking it all the way. And no one going to advise me different.
You realize
I'm not going to stop.
Right. You realize, because I need people to understand this, right? You're talking about a human being. You're not talking about an object. And if you go to any physician, because all physicians for the services, whether they're private or not, providing a service to any person, they must keep a record that the Ministry of Health, Human Services, or Social Security should have access to.
Yes.
So if you die under the care of a private physician, they must answer to the state.
Yeah.
It is not a private matter to say that I do what I want to do with you medically and I can walk away without having to answer to anyone. So I see that some people may think that with just speaking out, that it will create an issue for you. That is not so. Not when it comes to the human being. All right? If you go into a place and say that the food doesn't taste good, who's going to sue you for that? You pay for the commodity, right?
Yeah.
If you go into a supermarket and you say that the price is too high an item, it's your money.
Yeah.
You pay for the service. If you're not satisfied, if the food doesn't taste good, you know you can get up from the table if you just take a taste and walk away, don't have to pay. You know that?
Correct.
So I would need people to understand that we're not talking about food. We're talking about you as a person, with somebody who has control of your body, administering medication, and all of the other aspects of medical services, that you as a person, as a guardian, you have the right to make sure that the services being provided is above board, or intervene, because you too can become negligent for not intervening at a time when you knew better. You call it vicarious liability. So I need some people to understand that, because if you don't speak up for yours, who will speak up for them? And some of us don't speak up for each other, and we allow our own to become the subject of demise because we remain silent. And our silence became one of those things that prompt the inequity of the services to be provided against our people, right? This is not a fallacy. This is reality. And we got to get with the program and stop thinking otherwise, that our human being nature that exists within us, where we have a fabric to fight, that we can endure that fight, and we can take the fight into any circle, because we don't want you to think of yourself as common, a commonality, that people can do what they want to do with you, how they want you, when they want you, at will, without you having a say or a way forward, but a wherewithal to understand that you have rights, period.
Yep. And like I say, Brother Bento, it's an open and shut matter for me where I am concerned. But I don't being the one man against the wall. I don't have a problem being the change engine in this federation. I got cussed off in 22 when I decided to stand up to the former Team Unity administration. I was labeled as terrorist. Go back where I come from, whatever. Government changed today. And tonight I actually had intention of going back to some of those clips. And I'm going to head there in a bit because you're not familiar with some of these things. Because too much nonsense goes on in this federation and people seem to have a very short memory. With everything that we went through in the last 7 years, I'm hearing people out there crying out today, we want back Timothy. Want back Timothy for what? We got our only living national hero, the first Prime Minister of this federation, the Sir Honorable Dr. Alphonse Simons. On the eve of the 2022 federal elections, he came out and gave some statements at a press conference. And I know he came with those statements thinking he was trying to help his party, the People's Action Movement. But in essence, he turned off people and educate people. So let's take a quick listen to these statements.
When I decided to support the efforts of the Team Unity Alliance, I did so in order to get rid of Denzil Douglas. We succeeded. I took that decision also because of the opportunity to change the political culture of St. Kitts and Nevis and to end the political polarization which has plagued us. That is still my mission. Actually, PAM and PLP people were getting along pretty well. The problem was, and still is, Timothy Harris. The other reasons I supported the alliance in 2015 were that I wanted our government to develop the country for the benefit of all our people in a fair and just manner. And finally, I wanted us as a country to return integrity and accountability to our government. But Timothy Harris destroyed all those plans. The coalition was dissolved because of two reasons, and Timothy Harris is to blame for both. The reasons were greed to become wealthy. The second was his continued system of undermining all his colleagues. As Minister of Finance, he refused to fund many projects and programs, even though they were approved by Cabinet. This caused supporters to feel that it was the Prime Ministers who were not acting. But although the Prime Ministers were fighting for their people, the Minister of Finance kept refusing or delaying to support their projects. As Sean Richards once said, he, Timothy, would look them in the eye and say yes, and next day begin the process of undermining them. Not just Sean and Pam, not just Mark and CCM, but even the other PLP minister was undermined by her leader. His sole purpose was to make them look bad in the eyes of the public and in the eyes of their party supporters. But behind their backs, he plotted to make himself look like the savior. He wanted everyone to praise him. He did not want his ministers to get any credit. Everything must be about Timothy. They tried quietly for years, trying to hash out their disagreement privately, but without success. The situation got worse, but he continued to ignore them. They tried again late last year and again in January this year, but again, Harris ignored their concerns. They wrote to him for discussions, but he ignored their concerns and refused to negotiate with them. Or he said he couldn't diminish the office of the Prime Minister, failing to recognize that they made him Prime Minister. He proceeded to kick down the ladder by which he had ascended. It was only after all of these efforts failed to resolve the differences that the decision had to be made to dissolve the partnership. The 6 representatives were left with no alternative but to take their case to the people, because it was the people who elected them. Today, I am very proud of Sean Richards and Mark Brantley and the other 4 MPs who took a stand. Eugene Hamilton once told me that he warned Sean that Timothy was undermining him and would throw him under the bus. If Sean had not moved when he did, in 3 years' time, there would have been no Pam. Sean had to move to save the country and to save his party. Permit me now to explain why you cannot support Dr. Timothy Harris and his Labour Party. The first reason is his slate of candidates. Have you ever asked yourself which portfolios each of them would serve in if they succeed in stealing the elections? Can you imagine any one of Timothy's candidates being sent abroad to the European Union to deal with such a crucial issue like trying to save our CBI program? Not one of them. As for Timothy, you know he is afraid to go because he would have some serious questions to answer. Think of it. If Timothy Harris is returned to office, you will witness a massive scale of victimization that this country has never seen. Thousands would be fired from their jobs. They would harass you and terrorize you. Corruption in government would increase, and so would nepotism, as friends and family were given priority in this country. Keep in mind, he wants to get back into office to finish the prison and to allow the family to make millions and millions, well, you just get a chance to be on pap and step. You must stop them. The fourth and fifth reasons are about Harris's appetite for betrayal. These will shock you, but will help you to decide, to see his trail of deceit. Harris was in the Labour cabinet of Prime Minister Dr. Denzil Douglas for 18 years. Even though his former colleagues knew he could not be trusted, he remained in their fold, and they kept quiet about his ways. I too saw signs that he could not be trusted when he eventually teamed up with PAM and CCM. Everyone that he has had as a partner, even those who formed the PLP with him, eventually fell out with him. And it is always for the same reasons: distrust and betrayal. During the past 7 years of the former Team Unity government, I remained cordial but careful with Harris, because I knew that betrayal and vindictiveness remained a part of his nature. He betrayed CCM, he betrayed PAM, he betrayed the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, and he also had a history of betraying the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party. Harris has been betraying PAM and its members of cabinet from the first day they took office in 2015. Much of it we only found out later. But if PAM thinks Harris betrayed them, the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party supporters should also know that he spent many years plotting against them. Here is a piece of history that most of you did not know about, but it is a history that would convince you that no one should and no one could trust the outgoing Prime Minister. What I am about to tell you, I don't think that even Dr. Denzil Douglas knew about it. Most of you would remember the morning after the election of 2010, when Prime Minister Denzil Douglas went to Government House to have his entire cabinet sworn in, as was the custom in those days. When Dr. Douglas looked around for Timothy Harris, Timothy was not there. He was absent because he was working on a plan to give Douglas the shock of his life. Dr. Harris was absent because he was trying to put together a coalition to get rid of Douglas and to make himself Prime Minister. How do I know this? Earlier that morning, I received a call from an intermediary of Timothy Harris. The intermediary was someone that he thought I would listen to. The message was to ask me to talk to Mr. Joseph Parry, who was then the leader of the Nevis Reformation Party, NRP. Harris wanted to ask Joseph Parry to talk to his successful candidate, Mr. Patrice Nisbet, and to ask Mr. Nisbet not to rush into any association with Dr. Denzil Douglas, because he, Timothy, was working on a plan to form a government. The message also suggested that there was a possibility that PAM could be in the government rather than in opposition, if Parry agreed to convince Patrice Nisbet not to work with Douglas. Mr. Parry was not interested, so he rejected the suggestion. It was only then that Timothy Harris eventually returned to the Douglas fold and was sworn in. So that was after the 2010 election. Now let us examine what Harris did 10 years later, following the 2020 elections. After the 2020 polls, Timothy Harris decided that he did not want Josie Byron again as Attorney General. Yes, Timothy did not want Juicy Byron as Attorney General. He contacted and asked a prominent member of PAM to recommend someone who could replace Byron. Harris said Byron was lazy and incompetent. I was consulted by the member of PAM, but after discussion, we decided not to submit any names. Harris then rushed to get himself sworn in, leaving Juicy dangling in uncertainty. Many of you would recall that unlike previous years, no Attorney General was sworn in 2020 when the Prime Minister took his oath. The reason is what I have just told you. Eventually, because no suggestions were given to Harris to replace Byron, Byron was eventually sworn in. Someone should tell the Attorney General that he was being betrayed by Timothy, because he may not have known. Of course, he continued to smile with you and butter you up, Juicy. But he did not want you. Instead, he made you think it was your PAM colleagues who wanted you out. No, it was not. We kept you on. Two other reasons you cannot support the Harris group relate to his old ways of victimization. When Labour came into power in 1995, Harris became, for the first time, a Minister of Government in the Denzil Douglas administration. Harris immediately went on a victimization spree. The first man he marked was a farmer named Ben Phipps of Molyneux. His wife was Doreen Phipps, a well-known PAM activist and member. Timothy went on a rampage. Their farm was the family's means of sustenance and livelihood. Like so many other farmers in the area, Ben Phipps paid the prescribed rental for the land regularly and on time. Unceremoniously, Timothy Harris took away the land from Ben Phipps, moved in the bulldozers, and destroyed the crops that were growing and deprived the Phipps family of their livelihood. Ben Phipps pined away, and before the next election in 2000, Ben Phipps was dead. Some say he died of a broken heart. A few years later, his wife Doreen also died. Despite the loss of their parents, the family of Ben and Doreen Phipps still found it in their hearts to forgive Timothy. He went to them on his knees with water in the eye, begging for forgiveness. Like good Christians, they forgave him, because even the dying thief on the cross received forgiveness. And still, Harris continued his ways of betrayal. The next man he marked was Pastor Kelvin Jones of the Mount Carmel Baptist Church at Opoborio. Pastor Jones had bought land from the government to build his home. Timothy Harris decided to take back part of Pastor Jones' land. He sent in the bulldozer supported by the army. They were given firm instructions to tolerate no opposition and to shoot if necessary. This is the true nature and the political DNA of Timothy Harris. He would pretend in your presence, but would not hesitate to stab you in the back. So despite the many visits to church every Sunday, his heart is not pure and it is not in the right place. Right now, Timothy Harris and his accomplices are trying to do two things. They are trying to corrupt the electoral process, and they are trying to steal and buy the election. We have no choice We the people have no choice but to vote for the PAM CCM team under the leadership of the Honorable Sean Richards. For the benefit of future generations, this present danger to our democracy, Timothy Harris, must be removed with the greatest urgency. All hands must be on board. We have a nation to save. Timothy Sylvester Harris is not just bad for PAM. He's not just bad for Labour. He's not just bad for Nevis. Timothy Harris is just plain old bad for this country. He has endangered the source of our financial stability, which is our CBI program. If the millions from this program dry up, we are all in trouble. Timothy Harris must be stopped now. How do we stop him? Here is how. We the people must reject all of his candidates, including him. We must all vote for the PAM and CCM, because that way lies the salvation of our federation. Timothy Harris is a clear and present danger to the democracy of St. Kitts and Nevis. May God bless and protect us all.
So, Brother Benton, that was our current living national hero, first Prime Minister of the Federation. But I'm going to drop another clip before we have the conversation, because while the national hero is speaking about the danger of the former Prime Minister, which I support, the then Premier of Nevis and still current Premier of Nevis and current opposition leader in the federal government has some very nice thing to say about the good gentleman. So let's take a listen.
People come and they whisper foolishness in your ear, telling us foolishness because St. Kitts and Nevis is enjoying an unprecedented time of prosperity. Unprecedented time of prosperity. The relationship, and let me just take 2 minutes, Brother Lindsay, just to say that the relationship between St. Kitts and Nevis has never been better. It is the best. It is the best that we have seen. The best that we have seen. It is because of the closeness of that relationship that I could stand here tonight in Molyneux and speak to you. Speak to you as a national of this country, as part of the Team Unity administration. And if Vance Ambry was here, he would have done similarly, because we are now bound together in a very tangible and important way as we advance the interests of the country. Now in Nevis, for the first time, people are not seeing those age-old distinctions that we used to have. If you want a job and a job is at Park Hyatt, people go on Park Hyatt to work. Wherever work is in the country, people are saying, I am a national of this country and I'm taking advantage of that. People of St. Kitts are taking advantage of opportunities in Nevis and vice versa. You know why? Ultimately, we are 2 islands, 1 paradise. 2 islands, but 1 country. And we need to continue to ensure that all of our people benefit from all that we have to offer as a country. I thank the Honorable Prime Minister. I thank Team Unity and the vision that went into this. I've said so many times right here in St. Kitts that we come from disparate places and disparate backgrounds. When I was in opposition, another man used to talk as hard to me as Timothy Harris when he talking from over there. Talk hard, I used to afraid him because you know he big. So to come from there to where we are now says to you that we were able to put away those things and come together. Put away those things and come together for the benefit of the people of Nevis. Thank you, God bless, and good night.
Yeah, Brother Benta, so that is the politics, politics of our beloved federation. Any comments?
You know, I was even going through, as I mentioned, the Honorable prime ministers, attending meetings at the United Nations, that for conditions to know, based on what some of the agencies had organized, based on a movement forward when it comes to our seniors alike, you know to date that there is no official recognized disability policy in St. Kitts and Nevis. There's none.
That's what I was told.
There's none whatsoever. And we're moving through treaties as well, which we've actually locked ourselves into to provide these services. And as such, the only persons with disabilities are protected by the general legislation. In other words, the judicial mechanism adopted was to protect the rights of person with disability due process only for those who are actually working. And anything else after that, as far as our seniors and some of the other aspect of disability, there is no respect for the disabled when it comes to what is going on here and what's what. But it gives you another level of upper hand, because now this goes into another realm of civility, a civil action with the laws and agreement and rules and so forth, which were fabricated going back to, I think it was 1997 or 1996, that still has not been enacted. But they, to the World Health Organization, these were promises made that the countries would have enacted and still have not enacted them today. But however, during the COVID, the nation received funding from, again, the World Health Organization, right?
Yep.
And in those funding that the country received from WHO, World Health Organization, for the COVID, in it, a lot of these regulations should already been in place. So how did we filtrate the funding we got from WHO to take care of those individuals who fell ill based on the pandemic, but yet through WHO, which is part of what is before under the United Nations, that the country said that they would enact, how do you now, this is going to open Pandora box, you know? Because we're going into other aspect of receiving funding for different ailment in a crisis nature, that now where there's a treaty agreed to by the nation of St. Kitts and Nevis, and they have not implemented anything under those recommendations when it comes to disabled, challenged by an individual, understand where to go with it. It is a marker that will leave a black eye for the nation, because during pandemic or epidemic to pandemic, the country under WHO is also recognized based on the rules and regulation which have been implemented, that they should have created some sort of legislation that covers the disabled, all right? Yep. They're trying to pattern and adapt by the sign language or whatever have you. But the way it's written, based on what's been happening, I would urge that the country take the note that Independent Living Institute is looking at this under the United Nations based on what was presented, that the state of St. Christopher Nevis government would have enacted in 1996, and it hasn't been enacted. You see the way this is going? And then this takes into another direction now, because it doesn't have, you don't have to actually keep your fight in St. Kitts. It takes you on the other aspect of the humanitarian fabric of what they signed as far as the treaty in 1997. So this is going to get really nasty, because it has language as far as human rights. And it is an enabling right for a human being to have proper medical care, and for a human being to be placed in environment that meets all the world health requirements as well as structured. So I see for you, Brother Marisha, in listening to the recordings that you played previously, it is a daunting task for the sitting government, and I want to believe, I am putting faith into men and women I don't know, right? But I think that if I'm listening to what's being said, that there should be a fabric of understanding and morality more than anything else. There should be a fabric of inclusion rather than exclusion in more ways than one. And to think about those individuals who have their loved ones who are at home, who are disabled, to know that there's nothing in law, nothing, despite what was structured some years ago, not one thing in law that assists to enable those individuals who are disabled in any area of their disability. That is a daunting disrespect. to the people within a nation, of which we say we have civility, we have morality, we have understanding and compassion, and we can deliver what's right when it comes to taking care of each and every one of us, where no one is second to no one, including our seniors and disabled. It is a disgrace as far as what I'm reading. It's sad to say.
It's a very sad state, Mr. Benta. I am here, and like I said, time and time again, I know the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Terence Joe. He's caring, he's trying his best to implement a lot of stuff. However, there is, in this case, I just say, flour more than water, or water more than flour, however the old people say it. Because the functionaries and the other members of parliament, they have to be on board. And the situation is that for those people out there who think that is okay, that what transpired at that elderly care home there, where someone went missing 9 days later found dead and want to brush it under the rug. We're going to get there one day. Some of us might not live to get to that stage, but a lot of us may get there, and you're going to need that care. So you better stand up now and ensure that these things are in place. These government ministers, they come to you on the campaign trail, they campaign on the manifesto, they could do this, they could do that. Then they get into office, nothing has been done. You ask questions, you become enemy of the state, the numbers become change or disconnect, and all of a sudden the problem is you. Prior to them getting in there, you was a perfect friend. But once they get in, then you ask a question. You are enemy number one. But Brother Benta, I'm going to stand tall, I'm going to stand strong, and I'm going to ensure that what happened to my good friend there, that it does not fall on deaf ear, that is not swept under the rug. And it's going to be painful for some people. Some people might even hate me for the mission that I am on. But that is nothing new. That has been the story of my life.
Brother Marisha, really and truly, based on what the government had agreed to, that the World Health Organization is looking at, just the mere fact that if you transpose a letter and send it to the body of the United Nations, the sort of issue that it will create for the nation. Because until they make the correction of this vaccine issue, based on an agreement, based on regulations, that's all documented step by step, that has not been instituted or recognized by legislation by the state, that in itself is a breach of the agreement that the nation of St. Kitts and Nevis fabricated or articulated in documents agreed upon by many of the other countries. It is a breach. It's a breach. So they are members of the United Nations. And we're talking about other nations and what they're going through that don't follow the United Nations. We're talking about Haiti and some of those other places that's now trying to really work their way forward, going forward. That we are actually violating the very human basic fabric of taking care of your own people and being a part as a member, not a part-time member of the United Nations, but as a member of the United Nations of all the coalition states and OECS of the Eastern State of Americas, and representing issues that they have not met or addressed in their own country. So a letter addressed to the President of the United Nations will be one based on the documents I've sent you before that illustrates the nepotism of what's being said when it's presented on the floor of the United Nations, in opposed to what's being transcribed by law to the residents and the people of your beloved nation. This should not even get to where it's at right now. And I think when you hear the United Nations in these discussions, and I think those who are listening understand the fabric of what this means, is that we are instead speaking because it's fashionable in front of individuals to sound good like statesmen, but in fact, we're not rendering the services that we said that we will, just like all of the other nations who are actually and have actually implemented them. And why hasn't it been implemented in the nation of St. Kitts and Nevis from 1996? That's how far back this goes. So we'll author the letter. I'll show you where to take it and mail it off if that's the case. But I think the cease and desist as far as communication with you should be one that the law firm of which represents this community should find themselves sending you another letter, resending what they've sent to you. Because here now, you're not just invoking what they have said in their letter, but taking the nation of St. Kitts and Nevis to another level that they themselves have violated and breached based on an agreement regulation formulated that all should be following and your nation is not. Not a good sign under the United Nations. And for those that don't understand what the United Nations means, we're talking about freedom. And a lot of people say, well, the United States is a free nation, right? You live in a free nation as well. Okay? Canada is free. The Caribbean is free. Jamaica is free. St. Kitts and Antigua is free. We keep rolling. We are a free community under democracy. It is not just the United States of America alone, but we lock ourselves into treaties, right? With those treaties, as it's written, based on what's structured when we go before the United Nations and under the United Nations, based on the treaty of which we have that actually encompasses many nations, the nation is in clear violation of a basic human being right, of the services to provide at all walks of life and all disability, the fact that we have that exists. And this is something I said again, that I will work with you and definitely get you to where to send your correspondence to, if necessary, if the nation doesn't take a step. It's a sad evening just to listen to what I'm hearing.
Like I said, Brother Benta, where I am concerned, whatever it takes to get this matter resolved in the interest of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, everything is on the table. There's no holds barred for me. My gloves are off. I'm ready to rumble. We're going to be doing a bit of overtime this evening because we're just about at the top of the hour, and there's 2 tracks here that I must play. My good boy there from the Green Valley area, the man they call Sire. He sang a song some years ago, say no change until. And I want to bring this back for the people of St. Kitts Nevis who might have a very short memory. Changing of government doesn't mean that the system will change or things will change. We, the people, are the change agent. So take a listen to King Sire.
There's no change until we work on no problem. Come with I. We want a change, that's the cry through the Federation. Changing a government does not mean this country will change. Every 5 years, it's a government change. But their country does always remain the same. They don't still have drugs and crime in the country. They don't still have guns and teenage pregnancy. Change your government is not the solution. Citizens, we have to start to live together as one. We have to start to think about unity. I for you and you for me. That is how this country should be. So if we really wanna change the region, we have to start to see some good things happen. Say like this, when we go and tell our children, say no to drugs, guns and violence, then this country will change. I say then this country will change. When we see Simmons having breakfast one morning in town with you Douglas, then this country will change. I say then this country will change. When we stop all of this drug trafficking, then we would see the change. Changing up of one government does not mean the country does change. Citizen, do you understand? Do you get my message now? Do you? Come with I. always go and create problems in our country. Then we want our government to come and solve it for we. If a bad man, he go out and bring in gun, why we should go and blame it on our government? We would go and say, if our party was ever ruling, those kind of things would never be happening. Change your attitude, I'm asking you, citizen. It's we the people who does pull our country down. This is time to straighten up our land. Live in peace and harmony. We got to respect the Constitution. So if we really wanna change in this island, we have to start to work on our problem. Say like this, when we see Timothy and Hailey go saying Merry Christmas to each other, then this country would change. I say then this country would change. When we stop import foreign items and sell local goods to the tourists them, then this country would change. I say then this country would change. If we turn our back on the sugar cane, then you would see the change. Changing up of one government does not mean the country would change. Citizens, do you understand? Do you get my message now? Do you hear me?
Come with I.
Come with I. We gone to the poll and we voting a new government. Then after 2 years, there's a lot of cussing for them. When things going good, we smile and take it easy. When things going bad, we build from the canary. We does regret that we ever vote in that party. When we see things is not going too good for we. Yes, it's we who have to turn this country around. Citizens, we don't have to wait upon no politician. Why must wait till 5 years for election? It's today we do it wrong. It's today we should correct them. So if we really wanna change in the region, we have to start to make the change on our own. And like this, when we build our one new hospital and build more school for the children them, this country will change. I said then this country will change. When we put down some more good hotels and prepare our land for tourism, this country will change. I said then the country will change. When you pick Saya in finals again, then you would see the change. Changing up of one government does not mean the country would change. Do you get the message? Lord and Atlas, do you get the message? Do you get the message? KM people, do you get the message? Do you get the message? Sandy Pine, do you get the message? Do you get the message? Simple people, do you get the message? Do you get the message? Tabernacle, do you get the message? Do you get the message? Canary, do you get the message? Do you get the message? Molyneux, do you get the message? Do you get the message? Newton people, do you get the message? Do you get the message? Village people, do you get the message? Do you get the message? Sadler's people, do you get the message?
Yeah, Brothers Benta, that song is very powerful lyrically. What do you think about it?
Well, I would say it really, really gets to where I want to hear it go to. All right. And I must say that as I'm invested into looking at your case, and I know that in the region, which I think your representatives may be out of Barbados for the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, which is actually an organization affiliated with World Health Organization, in looking at some of the things that you can do and listen to what people predicted even before in their songs and the lyrics, going back to what's taking place here today. There was vision to see things happening before it really happened and realize that there would have been a spiral in another direction rather than what we preach as far as politicians when it comes to the people. That is the people's first, right? The people first. And that's the most important aspect of what the services they want to provide on behalf of people. But then when you get there, the people become secondary. It becomes luxury and everything else except really administering what should be administered to your own people. Well, you know what it is, what they do when some people look into your home, some come to your house and you don't clean your house. You know, it's one of those things that people say, wait a minute, but what kind of disgrace is this? You're outside, you're cleaner than ever, sharp as a whistle. I come to your house and your house is something else. How do you clean your own home? And what sort of representation you're going to make to others of the world when the world is seeing your home uncleansed, unsanitary, and then they look at you later and ask the questions of you, well, what has been your real success? What has really been your real story when it came to really providing the services to the people which you said that you would? How would you rate yourself when your nation is the ones that are going to rate you based on the report card they're going to provide to you as you go forward, especially coming into a new administration, thinking that things will be right like it should be? I would ask for them to wake up, man. Start thinking clear as far as who you represent, you know? The people are begging in most instances because you look at them as subservient. Don't do that. These are your family, your friends, your people, your children. And like we said the other day, you just don't know what tomorrow brings. We don't know, as you go back to Shakespeare, for whom the bell tolls. We never know when.
Yeah.
We could leave this podcast right now or even right now, and you and I can collapse and God knows what tomorrow will bring. We just don't know. But at the same time, if we begin to put things in place to make sure we safeguard our own, ain't a man, woman, or child out there will say anything different, that you've done your best. You've tried your best. You've made sure that you brought everything that's necessary to do your best to serve everyone the best. And that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, Brother Benta, we're at the top of the hour, and I'm going to drop a final track. And this song, I really love this one as well, because it's saying, St. Kitts will rise again. So at the end of this song, I'll give you an opportunity to do your closing, and we're going to call it a night. But the struggle continues, Brother Benta. I'm going to be here pounding the evenings until I see the change that we need for our beloved Federation. Stand by.
Now this song is going out to all Kittitian in England, in America, in Canada, around the Caribbean region, and especially those Kittitian at home. Doctors, lawyers, teachers and contractors, come and build your land. Come lend a helping hand. There was a land of natural beauty, this peaceful land across the Caribbean Sea. Yes, we have her ups and downs on the time. Critics always try to push her behind. But what I know is that St. Kitts was doing fine. Then up come this Mother Nature. Oh, what a big disaster. Cause the people of St. Christopher to wonder. Cause them to wonder why. When we heard that pounding wind, then we know it's Hurricane George.
Then we see them galvanized lying all over we yard. So we got to join as one and work to build back our land. Kitishan, St. Kitts is calling. The country is hurting. You could see St. Kitts is calling. Hima, the children are crying. Kitishan, come and join us one and build back your land. Come and build this land. Know the hurricane hit ports and Tedak, and our hospital roof it get blow up. Yes, it is pain, but
St. Kitts will rise again.
stick this in your brain, Kitishan.
The St. Kitts will rise again.
Oh, yeah. Come on, Kitishan. Construction workers, come lend a helping hand. Come show that you care. Good Lord, we tried our best to prepare, but never know that George would have come a door. In this time of stress, there's so much unrest. Kitishan, we have to try our best. My Prime Minister, it is time to take on the test, because there's some people there were saying there won't be no St. Kitts again. I'm sick and tired of them with their wrong complaint, with their false complaint. Look how wicked Louis did came. Remember in 95, and he destroyed St. Martin and put business back behind. St. Martin box right back, and they had things right back in line. But now this time, St. Kitts is calling. Kitishan, the country is hurting. You could see St. Kitts is calling. Come on, the children are crying. Kitishan, come and join us one and build back your land. Come and build this land. Know the hurricane mash up in Kayan. Watch our tower building, it get blood up. Yes, it is pain.
St. Kitts will rise again.
Where the sun and rain, Kitishan,
St. Kitts will rise again.
come on, Kitishan, come on, so that you can. You see how beautiful it looks? Just like that. You have to build back St. Kitts. Just like that. It's pretty. It's beautiful. You Kitishan, hold on and keep strong. This misery and fear we would overcome. When you cry, you know that I would cry too. My love and my prayer goes out to you. Caribbean island, get up and make a contribution. For some countries in far distance, try your best with what you can do. What happened to St. Kitts could surely happen to you. And you know that's true. When something like this happen, come lend a helping hand. It's what we cannot run from. It's just part of nature's plan. Tell how we come start. A disaster we pain is fun. Because today St. Kitts is calling. The country is hurting. You could see St. Kitts is calling. Kitishan, your children are crying. Kitishan, come and join us one and build back your land. Come and build this land. Know the hurricane destroyed our land. Watch our cane feel them how they get blood up. Yes, it is pain, but
St. Kitts will rise again.
Take this in your brain, Kitishan.
St. Kitts will rise again.
Where the sun away chaos people,
St. Kitts will rise again.
Again and again, large and not lit.
St. Kitts will rise again.
Go and tell Bill Clinton, I say.
St. Kitts will rise again.
I say, run, go tell Great Britain right away.
St. Kitts will rise again.
I don't care what you say, what I know.
St. Kitts will rise again.
Just believe in yourself, I say.
St. Kitts will rise again.
Go tell the whole Caribbean, I say.
St. Kitts will rise again.
Yeah, Brother Benta, St. Kitts will rise again. Whatever it takes for us to take St. Kitts back to the top and above where we were, I'm going to be a part of that process. Your mic is open?
Yes, my brother, I would say to your nation, as we move into a new era, which we're still nowhere near, where we're looking at BRICS, and when people pay close attention to that, we're looking at Bitcoin, we're looking at gold probably becoming a currency of the future. But we are so far behind in not paying attention to the economic growth throughout the world that we continue to fight battles that we should have been past a long time ago because we are small sovereign states. And as such, because we're not paying attention to the global market, we're losing hindsight of where we should be to make sure that we are protected and safeguarded by the future of which we will be facing in short order. And if we are not prepared for it, we become part of the transcending of the valuing ourselves where we're not a part of the great world reset. There is a great world reset, ladies and gentlemen. If our nations and our governance don't include us, then we become part of the fighting end agencies as far as where we are and where we're going to go. Meetings within Switzerland has been held over and over. We are not a part of the table of decisions, but we're being surrounded, and I wanted to pay close attention to a lot of the African nations that's coming into the Caribbean nations as we begin to engulf what you call BRICS, Bitcoin, and gold currency, and find out where we are on the totem pole as far as a standard that we can safeguard our nation and our people so we can survive tomorrow. Global warming, Brother Marisha, and our building codes remain the same. But as global warming increases, the strength of our hurricanes changes, where demolition and destruction become a fabric that we're not looking at. So I just want to leave that with a lot of people are thinking, that there are and there will be some significant change in our currency, our economic push and drive, what moves a niche of a nation. But we tend to close a blind eye to these things, or we left to bewildered and not think about them because some people just don't want you to know. As I heard about the prison you have in St. Kitts that was being built, I said some time ago that prison is money. Prison is money. The prison intention for it to be built is to bring prisoners from all different places of the Caribbean where your nation will house them, and those other countries will pay you. But pay who? Who will be the recipient of the payments under what category? So I said, may God bless each and every one of you. I wish you Godspeed. Until next week, I ask for his humble blessings and befold you with his blessings in his bosom every day, that you will become and grow to be nurtured by what's right, so that right can befold you and your family going forward. Good night to your listening audience.
Yeah, Brother Benta, it's funny you spoke about the hurricane. I was having a drink with someone last evening, and I said to them that St. Kitts is so lucky. We are almost at the end of the hurricane season, and we have not really had any major storms this year. And they was asking, when is the end? I told them November. Next month is November. A lot could happen still, because the dirty mind and dirty heart that I'm seeing coming out of our Kittitian and division. If God were like man, we would have got a couple of storms already for the year, because we deserve it. We need to change our dirty, wicked ways. You know, and that is my honest opinion. Who don't like it, tough. But we need to change our selfish, dirty, nasty, wicked ways and follow the rules, follow the laws. You cannot change the law just to accommodate a few. If it was wrong under the former PAM, the former Labour, the former Unity is wrong now. Nothing changed because the government changed. Let's do the right thing. And I have an issue with people who does not understand that. And that note, I want to say to the folks again that has been contributing to the initiative that I started some weeks ago. So far I have paid up to 5 weeks of salary to the young lady. I'm happy for that and looking forward to paying out the salary again for next week. So I want to thank people like Fred Fritz and Sons Enterprises there in the Molineux area, the supermarket, the bakery there in Barrio. I want to thank you guys for your continued support to this program. I also want to continue sending prayers and condolences to you and your family on the passing of your son. I also want to big up my boy, the man Eustace Warner, over there at Warner's One Stop in the Bird Rock area. Thanks for your continued support and thanks for your contribution. The man Romeo Paris Pharmacy, thanks for your support. Smart Fit, Gloria Hutchinson, thanks for your support. Pearl, Hazel Claxton, and crew who has promised to make a contribution. I look forward to that contribution. The reserve is running low, and I don't want to disappoint this young lady. I want to try and keep her there at least until the end of the year. So I ask for your continued support. And at the same time, I want to big up my good people there at the Island Purified Water, the good water people in Main Street, Newton Ground, the man Brother Powell and his team, the man Scatter. Thanks for keeping the DJ hydrated. And before we get into the closing, there's a whole bunch of people online, folks. I cannot call all these names this evening, but let me try to say hello to a few people that is here, and the thousands of you online. Rhonda Brown, good evening. Lisha Stapleton, Verlin Ali, Zabu Sanders, Glenn Love Sinkits, Selena Love Sinkits, sorry. Jennifer Bradshaw, how are you doing? Hope all is well. I saw your dad at Mr. Freight's funeral last week, looking good, walking strong. Steve Mills, Michael McMahon, welcome to the ride. Julian Pemberton, how are you doing? Brother Empire, the Washington in the building in Nevis there today. Zabo Sanders, Montclair Tito Sadler, how are you doing? How is things there in the Canada area? Samantha Jeffers, good evening. Debbie Basu, welcome to the ride. Brother Chester Watson, how are you doing? Armin Evelyn. Yvonne Jeffers, how are you doing? How is things there in the UK? Want to say good night to Sister Loretta Wharton, how are you doing? Hope all is well. Annette Morton there, Monica McCall, Jacqueet, Melissa Pemberton, Yoshan Tafari, welcome to the ride. Mela Farms, Roland Archibald, Suzette James, Aston Connor, how are you doing, my brother? Welcome to the ride. How is your good folks there in Anguilla? Janice Carty, Vincent Hicks, Angela Sidano, Esther Edita Markman, how are you doing? How is things there in the UK? My brother there, the man Clive Hutchinson, how are you doing? How is things there in the UK? Want to touch my girl there, Sister Haley. Tenant Phipps there in Scotland, how are you doing? Ambassador Queely there in the Morocco area, how are you doing? Stan Fraser, Kimball Warner, Joanne Mansfield Walters, Enoch Smith, how are you doing, my brother? Welcome to the ride. Sister Cora Bennett, good evening. Thanks for your usual contribution and support to this podcast. Stella Green, Carol Liebert, Juliet Rouse, Avril Dickinson, Claudette Williams, Ashley Jeffers, Monica Sharon, Brother Romeo Paris, welcome to the ride. Petalyn Carey, Veronica Roberts, Nigel Quick, Madeline Sargent, welcome to the ride. Cecily Lake, Sylvia Ward, Myrna Davis, Wendy Skelton, how are you doing? Brother Marvin Leader, how are you doing, Brother Doc? Everything good? Hope all is good with you. Sandra Huggins, how are you doing? How is my girl, Millie and Yvonne? Hope all is well. Francis O'Brien, how is my boy Telford? Telford is okay? Jeffrey Maynard, Dan Williams, Veles Douglas, Carlton Williams, Pauline Swanston, welcome to the ride. George Henry, Bridget Paris, how are you doing? Cuz all is well. Linda Clark, Everson Powell, Cassie King, Bertram Farrell, Brother Desmond Hicks, how are you doing, my brother? Are you still in the Federation or are you back in the Virgin Islands? Sister Hazel Claxton, good evening. Hope all is well with you. Anthony Woodley, Calvert Romney, Natasha Warner, Claudette Connor, how are you doing, cuz? Everything good with you? Naomi Harris, Hugh Daly, Margaret Taylor. Too much. Douglas Shaw, how are you doing, my brother? I haven't spoken to you in a bit. Hope all is well. Sister Brown, how are you doing, sis? Hope all is well with you. Carmen Henry. Hope all is well, brother Sebastian Williams. Joel. Sandy K. Roberts. Steve Mills, welcome to the ride. Angela Doe. Benta, there's so much names to call here this evening, but Dwyer Astafan, hope all is well. The man Sam Conda, Cecil Watson, Elvis Marisha, welcome to the ride. James Body, how are you doing, my brother? Hope all is well with you. Hugh Coleman, Thaddeus Deposo, how are you doing? The man Ivor Henry, hope all is well, brother Eustace Hendrickson there, how are you doing? Hope all is well with you and your N. Brother Mallet, how are you doing? Good evening. Hope all is well with you. Celine Tobias, Glenn Green, Loretta Clark Queely, welcome to the ride. Valerie Pemberton, Sin, Tara Libert, how are you doing? How is things in the Toronto area? Justin Stacy Tuitt, how are you doing? Good evening. How is stuff there in Florida? Brother George Nisbet, somewhere around the world. How are you doing, my brother? Teresa Berry, how are you doing? My mascot, dear sister Dorothy Allen, hope all is well. Bernadette Tyson, sorry. Vanilla Beard, how are you doing? Well, I want to big up Brother Desmond Charles of the Cool Session Brass there in the Virgin Islands. How are you doing, my brother? You find me online. Brother Kelvis Connor and Dewis Edwards, how are you doing? John Cornelius, Dennis Merchant, how are you doing? Brother Gerald Patrick, Karen Richardson, Sophia Warner, Avivi Tudo, how are you doing? Sarah Walters, how are you doing? Welcome to the ride. Jackie Hanley, Flat Weeks. Oh, I gotta say good evening to my baby girl again one more time. Condolences to you and your mother, dear Sister Simone, and the passing of Sister Evelyn Gerald. Hope that God see you guys through this one. Sister Gwyneth Marisha, good evening. How are you doing? Sister Beverly Marisha. My Kudia from the Tobago area, the man Roger Wallace. How are you doing? How is my missionary there? Sister Deborah Wallace. Hope all is well. My Kudia in Tobago, Victor Beard, Gloria Beard, and Melissa Beard there. Brother Daniel there in the Trinidad area. Sister Chanel. My engineer there from the TNT area in Brooklyn, New York, the man Ike. Thanks for keeping this program alive and lively. We'll be celebrating 4 years on November 8th. Thanks to you. I want to big up my nephew there, my technician that cut my clips weekly, the man, Brother Sinclair. Hope all is well with you, my brother, my dad there, Brother Alfonso Marisha there in the St. Thomas area, my daughter there, Sister Rochelle in the Ohio area. Good evening. How is the grandkids? My son Jeffrey Marisha Jr. there in the LA area. How is Sister Jazz? Happy belated birthday. I understand she celebrated a birthday earlier there in the week. Didn't get around to make a call, but she was in my thoughts for doing so. Also want to touch Sister Ann Farrell Smith. Good evening. How are you doing? Hope all is well. Sister Anelda Robinson, how are you doing? Good evening. I also want to touch Sister Vera Connor. I wonder where my cousin is these days. My Uncle Eustace there in the St. Croix area. Brother Abernathy Libert, how are you doing, brother? Hope all is well with you. And Julius, hope all is well. Ruby Walters, my cousin there, Brother Kent Bernier in St. Thomas, and Sister Pamela. Lynn Leaf, Voodoo, how are you doing? Welcome to the ride. Sister Naomi Ward, Gilly Brown, Winston Williams, Albert Rubain, good evening, my brother. How are you doing? Gloria Keynes. Well, brother Benta, I'm going to drop a few clips here and we're going to write it out in a bit. I apologize to you folks that I did not get to say hi to. It's a whole bunch of folks online and I cannot be here all evening. So let's take a quick listen to my boy Carbo over there in the Nevis area.
Cabos, located at Fountain Village in Nevis, is the go-to spot for your Saturday treats. Tantalize your taste buds with his delectable Cabos Delicacy Goat Water. Or, if you prefer some soul food, then Cabos Fungi and Fish is definitely the way to go. Call ahead and reserve at 869-663-9694. Then make your way over to Cabos and enjoy the vibrant atmosphere while you savor your delicacy. Cabos, we are not changing, we are only improving.
Food all over, food all over. You got the food all over.
Yeah, Cowboy is definitely improving there with his goat water and fungi and fish on the weekend. Check him out on Saturdays. You want to make your order to go, you just call in advance. Let him know DJ Marisha sent you. Want to big up the man DJ Rabuka for that mix. Nice mix. Now let's take a quick listen to Sister Carmen of Carmen Caterers.
Girl Sanja, you know where you can find nice fresh local food 7 days a week, one provision and all kind of thing. Girl, where? Right down there by Shellings, by Carmen Catering Services. Girl, she opposite the bus stop. Girl, and she also cater for weddings, parties, anything you want to cater for, funeral and all. Girl, and trust me, you're gonna enjoy the food. And she also selling bites and sundaes. Opposite the our shop, right down the main road. Girl, you could call 665-1494 or 663-6005 to order your food or go and pick up your food. Girl, the food that is finger licking and you get your money worth. You ain't want nothing better than that.
You sure about that? And Carmen have something coming up this Sunday, something special. And this one is going to be right there at the bus stop in Boyd's Village. It's going to be $40 all inclusive. You get a choice of one meat, choice of two pie, rice, all veggie slice cake, drinks, free entry to raffle, VIP sunset tickets, lunch for a week, a blender, 3 giveaways, prices. So the menu seems stuck here to me. The entries are mango, barbecue ribs, pineapple chicken, bacon and onion pork chops, shrimp kebab, lobster thermidor, curry, mutton, slow cook oxtail. Carmen, I need some oxtail. Save some oxtail for me. Grilled salmon, baked snapper. Save my oxtail, Carmen. The side dish would be seasoned rice, coconut rice and peas, beef lasagna. I need some lasagna as well, Carmen. Save my lasagna and my oxtail. Saltfish lasagna, scallop potatoes. I need my scallop potatoes as well, Carmen. Don't let us fall out. Cinnamon corn on the cob, stir-fried vegetable garden salad. A lot going on. So let Carmen tell you again what's going on. But that's the menu for this coming Sunday. And it's only $40.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmen Catering Services. We'll be having a wonderful luncheon this Sunday coming in Boyd's Village, right on the main road, opposite the Gawo shop. You can't miss it. Come on down to Boyd's Village because we'll also be having a raffle and you have to be in it to win it. You might just be that lucky person to win a sunset VIP ticket. Also, cheapy Splendor set or a week free lunch from Carmen Catering Services. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't go wrong. Come on down to Boys. Join us. You will enjoy.
Yes, you heard it. Check out Carmen in Boys on Saturday at midday. Now let's take a quick listen to my boy, brother Daniel, there over there in our sister island, Nevis.
Welcome to Strategies for Business Success, right here on 2020visionradio.com and on 102.1 FM with business development advocate Daniel Atherton. Each week, Danny will build on a foundation to ensure your success in business. Being in business can be daunting, and Strategies for Business Success can help you avoid the pitfalls. Join Danny right here on 2020visionradio.com, on 102.1 FM, and on your other social media platforms every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. That's right, Tuesday evenings at 7 p.m. The time and place for your business dreams to come true.
Yeah, you heard it from Brother Danny there. Let's hear from my brother there, Brother Malvern Gums of the Spectrum Band in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands.
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're listening to DJ Marisha, playing you the best in Caribbean music.
You got that.
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're locked into DJ Marisha. Keep it locked.
Right here.
Wednesday evenings are heating up. Log on to DJ Marishall's Facebook Live broadcast every Wednesday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. It's a frank and a candid exploration into the social, cultural, political, and economic issues affecting our federation. And just in case you missed it, you can also catch the broadcast on his YouTube channel, DJ Marishaw. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube and smash that bell. You will be notified whenever he goes live. DJ Marisha, every Wednesday evening, Facebook 6 to 8 p.m. or thereafter on his YouTube channel, DJ Marisha. Log on.
Yes, you heard it right. Just log on here every Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and we have a whole session to give you. Lots to talk about, a lot of encouraging conversation, a lot of teaching, a lot of learning. But Benta just got a message here from one of our Kittitians someplace in the US. Want to know where you're from. You're very knowledgeable and educated. So if you want to tap your mic and let them know where you're from, because as I told you, every week new people come online and they're asking about you. I prefer you tell them yourself.
Thank you. I was born on the island of Antigua. Migrated to U.S. Virgin Islands. Was 2 years old as a little boy. And through that, my lineage from St. Kitts as well, going back to my grandmother, and some out of St. Lucia. So I was born on the island of Antigua.
All right, cool. So I guess you get that message, Brother Chessel. Folks, I'm going to drop a track right now, my final track of the evening. This one is called Arise by the late, great King Arrow. I dub it as the unofficial anthem of the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. This one is called Arise. Music is very sweet. I know Hazel love it. She just bounced to it, which is a big thing back there. But listen to the lyrics. Lyrically strong. Lyrically educating. Please take a listen. Good evening, Sister Lynn. How are you doing? Hope all is well, Sister Gwyneth. Beverly, I hope you're up and doing okay. Also want to big up my brother there, Gene Paris, in the Boogie Down Bronx there. Hope all is well with you guys. My sister Esther in Tortola, Monkey's kids, and the kids and crew. The man Twinkie, the man Craig, aka the Sugars. My favorite cousin there, Natalie Carter, just log on. Just see a pop up there. How is Caroline and the crew there? Brother George Morris there in the Florida area, Brother George Morris also in the Virgin Islands. So let's take a quick listen to this one. The late great King Arrow, Touching My Body, the dancing commissioner, Brother Austin Williams. I hope all is well. Sister Laura Williams. Hope all is good with you. I understand I have some friends here from Antigua playing some cricket. Guys like Roxy, Joseph, and
unification, building a brand new nation. We move on together hand in hand. Rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours. Indulging corruption or misusing public office, being accused of unemployment and crimes, or disrupting a citizen's peace. Oh, my country in this harmony, separated politically, hatred for a brother cannot love each other. No, I say no, not at all. Citizens, let's unite and stand up for rights, all our lives and our lives. Let us reintegrate and correct all mistakes. Reunification, building a brand new nation. We'll move on together hand in hand. So rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours.
Yes, definitely this country is yours, all yours, still yours.